Welcome back to Brick by Brick. I get asked a lot about the market and what's happening. So today I thought we would talk about the market as we know it today. COVID was such a weird time. I feel like the last 4 years has just disappeared. And for most of us, you just forget those years as it was such a weird, messed up blur. But I think most people ease into the new normal so quickly, we forget what the real estate market looked like 5 years ago. So let's take a little trip down memory lane. We'll revisit that time. I'll talk about what's changed, and we'll talk about where we're at today. Let's start with memory lane. Supply. 5 years ago, 2020, the beginning of the pandemic, but in real estate, we were going into our 4th year of a down market, a severe buyer's market. I remember showing houses in 2019. We had a record number of houses on the market in Red Deer that year. It was a tough time for sellers, and even though it was a buyer's market, it was a tough time for buyers too. You could show a buyer 30 houses, and they might like 10 of them. But we also knew that 4 more would come on the market tomorrow. Talk about buyer's remorse. And the poor sellers. Average days on market was well over 90. There were over 900 houses on the market in 1 month that year. So 1 year later in 2020, there were 633 houses for sale. And just for comparison, this morning when I checked, there were 309. So our supply is at half of what it was 5 years ago. Half. Demand. 5 years ago in 2020, there were 119 sales in June. In June of this year, there were 194 sales. So sales have increased by almost 65%. It's really the perfect storm. Half the inventory and almost double the sales. So what's changed? Well, according to our government, 471,000 new permanent residents came to Canada in 2023. They're predicting almost 500,000 new permanent residents this year and up to 550,000 in 2025. It was a big article that I read talking about how great it is for growth for the country. The only thing that article didn't talk about was housing. Where are all these people going to live? The National Association of Realtors predicts Canada will be 500,000 houses short by the end of 2025. And it kind of sounds like that number might be light. Canada Mortgaging Housing Corporation says we need 19 million houses by 2030. And in addition to that, an extra 3.5 million to bring affordability down. So really, 3.5 million houses short to bring affordability down. But that math just isn't mathing. That means to bring affordability back down, Canada needs to build 8,100 houses a day, every day, for the next 2,340 days, which brings us to the end of 2030. So where are we at today? If you've been watching any of my other videos, you've heard me talk about months of inventory, or MOI. Some people call it the absorption rate. It's the measurement of how much real estate is absorbed or sold in 1 month to determine where our market's at. So buyer's market, balanced market, or sellers. It's the active listings divided by sales in the last 30 days. And it's key data for what our market is doing. And I follow it closely. So right now, our MOI is at less than 2 months worth of inventory. That means if no new houses went on the market, it would take less than 2 months to sell what's currently on the market. So after 2 months, we would run out of inventory. That is a strong seller's market. The average single-family price in Central Alberta is up almost 12% in 2024 compared to 2023. So those higher resale prices have created an environment in which new home construction can compete with the resale market, which is great news for our lofty dream of 8,000 houses a day. I'm expecting supply to continue to increase over the coming months as builders ramp up for new construction. But the next 6 months will continue to be a power struggle between supply and demand, and to see how many new houses can be built to bridge the gap. So stay tuned, we will be talking about that frequently. So what does all this mean for you? It means a couple things. First of all, anyone selling a home loves to be in a seller's market. You get more money for your home, life is good, except you still have to live somewhere. So you might sell high, but you're buying high as well. And then the buyers. Buyers, it's tough out there, but the best thing you can do for yourself is to find a house you can afford and bite the bullet. Get into the market while you can, then slowly start to make that house the best version of itself to see a bigger return when you sell. It doesn't have to be expensive things. I'm going to do a whole episode on it, so stay tuned. And could the market shift? Absolutely. No one has a crystal ball, but watching this data with the lack of inventory and the demand of people who want to buy houses, that shift is a long way off. So if you ever have questions about the market, your house, or if you just want advice, you can call me anytime. I'm here to help. Stay tuned, because next week I have an amazing woman coming in, Jillian Vukovic, senior financial consultant, and she'll be sharing all of her expertise with us. She's an incredible woman who believes in education and raising women up, and she's a strong supporter of our community. You are not going to want to miss that one.